A highlight of the president's trip so far was a very high-level, high-end meeting with business leaders in India. But maybe it wasn't actually a highlight after all. In the room at that meeting was Dr. Sreedhar Potarazu. Now, he's been very critical of President Obama on this program. With that in mind, he's joining us on the phone now. Doctor, with that in mind, full disclosure here, you've been quite a harsh critic of the president in the past. Now tell us, from that perspective, how would you say the president's message fared in that room with those business leaders? Because you were in the room. How did it go?
I think that the message, Stuart, was received with a lot of skepticism. You had the CEOs of every major company in India, from Mukesh Ambani of Reliance to Ratan Tata, including Jeffrey Immelt from GE and others from U.S. companies, and a lot of skepticism because there's a lot of concern when the president comes in with a message of opening up free trade and wanting to increase more jobs for the U.S. and drive more business, when in the same breath he was clearly against outsourcing. And so the CEOs of the Indian companies basically said, you know, what are we getting in return? Because we've already been crushed by the collapse of the U.S. economy. We've lost a lot of business. And now you're saying that we have to open up our markets and help sustain your wish, but what are we going to be able to get in return? And so I think that there was a lot of skepticism in terms of what the president was delivering. Peter also, as he said earlier, Peter Barnes was correct in that a lot of these deals were already in the works. So it's not like these deals closed in the last 48 hours. And I think the next question, Stuart, is that the president was talking about wanting to build more business in India around infrastructure, but yet the same companies like Boeing that have won the business, that are supposedly getting thousands of more jobs, we haven't addressed the issue of how they're going to hire these people, because it was the same companies like Boeing that said that they have to defer the cost of health care and other things back to employees because they can't afford it. So we haven't fixed the basic problems. Simply taking on more people hasn't cut to the root causes. So there's been a lot of contradictions in the president's message that ran skepticism here.
All right, Dr. Sreedhar Potarazu, we appreciate that message from inside the meeting with Indian business leaders. Thank you, Doctor.